Ever since Donald Trump began claiming that the 2020 election was stolen from him, even though it was not, election workers across the country have been subjected to countless death threats from Donald Trump's supporters. And as we inch closer and closer to election season this year, the death threats and other threats are coming fast and furious. And according to a new report, there is one small county in Georgia where the local sheriff tells us that death threats ain't against the law. And the sheriff's office is refusing to investigate the death threats being lobbed at their own election workers by Donald Trump's supporters. Recently, Stateline did a story on voter registration director of Douglas County, Milton Kidd. And Milton Kidd, a black man, shared with Stateline some of the threats, both just general threats and actual death threats that he's received. One of them, in an email he received, said, "Milton Kidd is a nasty N-word, living on tax money like the scum he is, living on tax money like a piece of low IQ N-word, then S-word." Another one, a voicemail he received, said this: "I don't know if you're aware, Milton, but the American people have set a precedent for what they do to effing tyrants and oppressors who occupy government office. Yep, back in the 1700s, they were called the British, and the effing American people got so fed up with the effing British being dicks, kind of like you, and then they just effing killed all the effing British." Okay, well, first of all, that's actually not how that happened at all. Go back to school. But that one specifically did say, death. So that is considered a death threat in the eyes of the law. But unfortunately, the law in Douglas County, Georgia, Captain Trent Wilson of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, well, Captain Trent Wilson, who also happens to be a black man, says that these death threats are absolutely not illegal. Here's what Captain Trent Wilson, again, of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, had to say. "It was very distasteful, but just because they're distasteful don't mean they're criminal. Look, I'm a black man, so we don't like to be called a N-word, but calling someone a N-word is not a crime." Okay, sure. I mean, but we're not talking about prosecuting people for calling this man the N-word and other election workers, because it's not just Mr. Kidd here that's getting the threats. The death threats are, in fact, illegal. And I can't believe I'm actually having to tell this to a sheriff, but you are not allowed under the law of the United States of America to issue a direct threat of violence or other physical harm up to and including death against another citizen here in the United States. That, in fact, is a felony no matter where you go in this country. So you, Captain Trent Wilson, sitting there saying like, well, it ain't illegal. F yeah, it is. Let me read you this, just so everybody's aware. "Threats of violence are broadly categorized as expressions or actions that reasonably cause fear of physical harm or danger to another person. In the legal arena, these threats can manifest in various forms, including verbal statements, written communication, gestures, or even symbolic acts that convey a clear intention to cause harm or instill fear," which is what these people are doing to Mr. Kidd. It continues, "One crucial element in determining what constitutes threats of violence for a criminal charge is the presence of intent. Now, prosecutors must establish that the alleged threat was made with the purpose of causing fear or harm to the recipient. This requirement underscores the importance of considering the context in which the threat was made and the perceived intention behind the words or actions. Context plays a pivotal role in evaluating whether a statement or behavior rises to the level of criminal threat. A seemingly menacing statement made in the heat of an argument may be assessed differently than a similar statement made in a calm and calculated manner. For example, somebody just sitting at home getting themselves worked up into a tizzy for no reason with no provocation on the other party, then calling in a death threat to an election worker. So yes, Captain Trent Wilson, under the law of the United States, these threats are in fact investigatable and they are prosecutable. So don't sit there and tell us that, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, there is. You absolutely can investigate these threats because they are instilling harm or fear into these individuals receiving them, which meets the legal threshold of a prosecutable felony. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.